I, 38 male, have been married to Sasha, 37 female, for 11 years now. I recently discovered that she's been cheating on me, and it has completely warped the way that I look at her. This is someone who I used to love with all of my soul, but now I almost can't stand to look at her. She doesn't know that I know because I haven't chosen to confront her yet, but I know that I'm going to do so soon. I just don't know how. I think the worst part of the entire thing is that I really did care for her. She's the one person on the planet who I would have given up anything for, and she knows that. It's why it is all the more baffling that she would decide that I wasn't worth her being faithful. It's like everything that I had done simply wasn't worth the loyalty and honesty, and that breaks my heart. The way I found out was painful. I typically work pretty long shifts, and once I leave in the morning, I'm back late at night. On very rare occasions during my lunch break, I'll stop by at home. Most of the time it is because I've forgotten something, and this was one of those days. I had forgotten something at home. I can't even remember what it was, so I drove back home. As soon as I got there, I noticed there was a car parked in front of the house, and her car was there too. I wasn't even trying to be super quiet. I was able to park, unlock the door, and go up the stairs. And when I opened the door to the bedroom, I saw Sasha and another man lying in bed asleep. I don't know who he was. I was actually downstairs before I realized that I didn't even have evidence that it happened. I went back up and took video. I didn't mind if they woke up, so I started from the doorway and walked in to get both of their faces. They still didn't wake up. I left after that. I told a couple of friends, and the first thing that they asked me was why I didn't confront her straight away. I don't know what the answer to that is, because looking back, I don't know why I didn't. It's pretty crazy because I very calmly got back into my car, returned to work, and I finished my shift the way I always do. It was like I completely tuned it out until I got back home and saw her that night. I've looked at the video I took probably 100 times already. I don't enjoy looking at it, but it is almost like I'm trying to convince myself that what I'm looking at was a thing that actually happened. I don't know if that makes sense. She knows that something is wrong, but for some reason, I just don't want to have that confrontation. I know I'll have to, but I don't want to, because I know that it is going to turn everything upside down, and I'm not mentally ready for that. I just keep showing up at work as a way to get my mind off the entire situation. She asked me once if there was something that I wanted to talk about, but I pretty much just snapped at her to leave me alone once she started asking a bit too often. I felt bad about it at first, but I stopped feeling bad when I remembered what I had seen. I even tried making excuses for her, but there was no excuse for it. Both were in bed, I saw their bare shoulders, and the rest of what I assume was their nakedness was under the sheets. The easiest explanation in this case is the right explanation. There's no point in me trying to figure things out like it is quantum physics or something. She cheated on me with that guy, and that's it. I don't know what the point of this post is, because I know that divorce is the eventual answer. I know I'm going to have the confrontation. I've already confirmed that the cheating happened. I guess the major purpose of this is just for me to vent. That's it. I do feel better already, and hopefully the moment I press post, and I'll feel even better. Update 1. Don't tell me that this is a bad idea, because quite frankly, I don't care. I know there's a way to be the bigger person, but I don't want to be. I haven't confronted Sasha, and in the actual sense of the word, I don't think that I have any plans to. I don't want to be morally right in this case. I don't want the high ground. I want to hurt her, and I think that one of the ways that I'm going to be able to do that, and probably the way that I'll be able to do that the best, is by giving her a taste of her own medicine. That means exactly what you think it means. I'm going to make sure that she walks in on me doing the same thing that I walked in on her doing. What's going to make this cinematic is the fact that she doesn't know that I know that she cheated on me, because her and her man were sleeping like logs in our bed. She's going to act like she's a bigger person, and I'm so horrible, but I know the truth, and I'm going to use it to shut her up at the perfect time. I don't need to stress myself too much about a willing participant. There's a woman at my workplace. She's about 10 years older than me, who has never been shy about flirting. I would have hit it if not for the fact that I'm married, but it doesn't matter anymore, and the fact that she's really good looking for her age, and I like older women, makes it easy. The only problem that I might potentially face is whether she wants to be a part of my scheme. To be honest, I don't want it to be a surprise for her. I only want to do it if she's fully aware. But I will talk to her and try and make a deal. Even if I have to pay her to participate, then that's fine. I just need Sasha to end up hurt. I'm ready to be the bad guy. Don't try to dissuade me. Like I said, you can comment whatever, but if it pisses me off, I'm probably not going to reply to you. If you're in support of me, then rock on. We can probably be great friends. Is it messy? Absolutely. Is it petty? Without question. Is it understandable after what you walked in on? Completely. She made you part of the situation you never consented to. Now you're deciding you're not going to quietly absorb the damage and thank her for the lesson. you're choosing mutual destruction over silent suffering. And honestly, some people need consequences they can feel, not just words they can ignore. Update 2. Again, I'm not in this to be a good person. I've done exactly what I said I was going to do in my last post, and it went exactly how I wanted it to go. The most important thing was for me to find a woman who would actually agree to participate in my scheme. I mentioned an older coworker who we can just call Priscilla for this. I told her that my wife cheated on me, and she was really apologetic. I mentioned to her that I really wanted to cheat back, and she seemed excited about that prospect. I already know she's into me, so I didn't have to say much before she playfully offered herself. I told her that I was serious, and that if she wanted to play the game with me, I didn't mind. She was down for it. The hard part was when I had to tell her that there was a twist. I wanted to get caught when it was happening. She immediately bowed out, because she said that she couldn't be at the mercy of a crazy woman in that kind of moment. I tried to assure her that she'd be protected, but it was hard to convince her, and we left it at that. I had already started thinking of who else I could potentially get to make my plan work, but before the end of the workday, Priscilla came back to me. She said that she had a proposal. She claimed that if we got interrupted, she wouldn't be able to enjoy the time with me. Her mind would be on my wife entering any second. She told me that I had to give her 2 chances before we got caught, and she was fine with getting caught the 3rd time. She also seemed very confident that the moment we slept together once, I'd be the one looking to see her after that. With the way she is, I wasn't even doubting that she'd be crazy in bed. She was very confident about it, and I tend to get that kind of vibe from women with her archetype. Anyhow, I'll skip over the part where I did as she wanted. We met those 2 times, and just as she said, it was crazy. Used to have it like that at the beginning of my marriage, but as time went on, Sasha just got less and less interested in intimacy. The typical curse that we face as men in our marriages. I did everything to keep things spicy, but at a point, it wasn't worth the effort. I could tell that it was starting to become a chore for her. Bottom line was that it was fantastic with Priscilla. It just deepens my love for older women because they know what they're doing in bed. I chose a day when Sasha went to run some errands as the day for my plan. Priscilla was very nervous, but I assured her that we'd be fine. We don't have firearms at home, but we have a baseball bat under the bed. If Sasha went to grab a knife or something, she'd be fine with me around. I promised that much to her. Sasha isn't the crazy type anyway. She's just a cheating wife, so knew that wasn't going to be an issue. The funny thing is that we had already finished up before Sasha came back, but when we heard her car pull up, we got into position. I was scared too, I won't lie. Majorly because of the unpredictability of the whole thing. I could not say how she was going to react to what she saw. When she walked into the room, she gasped really loudly and very convincingly. I whipped around and acted shocked. She just stood in the doorway with her mouth wide open while I scrambled to put on my clothes. I did the typical, "It's not what it looks like," and "I can explain," because they were funny to me. Priscilla put on her clothes and Sasha just stood dumbfounded as she left. She was already crying before she was out the door. I repeated that I could explain, but she screamed at me to shut up. Her anger might have truly been humbling if it wasn't coming from the mouth of a complete hypocrite. I didn't stop her though. I let her call me names. I let her say all the mean things she wanted to say about me. She said that she couldn't believe she had wanted to build a life with me. I took all of her insults straight on the chin, like I was a bad husband who didn't care about his wife. I kept trying to interject and tell her to let me explain, but she became really aggressive when she felt that she had the high ground. The most shocking thing was that she threatened to slap me if I interrupted her again, so I sat back and let her say everything. The first time she gave me the chance to actually say something was when she asked what she wasn't doing as a wife that had led me to cheat on her. She was crying really intensely. Anyone who walked in on that scene really would have thought she was an angel and I was the devil. Anyway, with the chance she gave me to speak, I told her that I needed to explain, and the moment I saw she was focusing on me more than her crying, I let the bomb drop. I asked her why she was making such a big deal of it, and her mouth dropped open. She couldn't believe that I wasn't taking accountability. I told her that it wasn't a big deal at all, and she was meant to understand that. After all, didn't you cheat on me too last month? The first thing she did was act confused. She said I was crazy and that I was making things up just because I didn't want to face what I had done. I didn't want to keep playing games with her. I mentioned the kind of car that her man had. I mentioned the day she had had him over. I mentioned that the 2 of them had slept in our bed and fallen asleep. I could tell that she wasn't as confident anymore. She knew I knew because I had said too much, but for some reason she must have thought that there was a chance I was bluffing, so she still denied it. She said I didn't know what I was talking about. Instead of continuing to go back and forth with her, I just pulled out my phone and showed her the video I'd taken. I pointed out that the 2 of them were so knocked out that day that I had been able to walk into the house, taking video of them, walk out, and start my car without any of them stirring. I pointed out how energetic she had been a few minutes ago when she thought that she had the moral high ground, but now she understood that me cheating was simply in retaliation, and so was her catching me. The person who had been enjoying laying into me a few minutes ago suddenly had nothing to say. I kept prodding her to say something, but there was nothing in her head. She hadn't expected that kind of situation, and now that it had struck, she was left with no defense. I prompted her to say something. I pointed out that she hadn't had so much to say before, and I wanted to know what else she had to tell me. She was really quiet, but she said that I didn't understand why she had done it. My immediate retort was that she didn't understand why I had done what I did either. When it came to her cheating on me, she was a saint, but I was the bad guy? Where was the understanding when she walked in on me? That was when she decided to change her approach and start apologizing, but it wasn't going to do anything. And I let her know that. I told her there was only one way that things were going to go since that day that I had discovered her in bed with the other guy. It was going to end in divorce. She started crying, though she kept wiping her tears away as if she didn't want me to see it. I asked her who the guy was. That was actually the last thing that I wanted to know. She hesitated, but she eventually answered that he was the brother of one of her coworkers. The coworker and the brother both knew she was married, but apparently the people around her are just as bad as she is. With the way that I flipped the script on her, she looked so dumb, so pathetic. She couldn't keep barking at me like a dog. She couldn't keep acting like she was the one who was in the right. I made her look like an absolute fool the way I had handled the situation, and it still got to hurt her too. The fact I got both of those in one attempt makes me glad. Again, I never claimed to be a good person. Anyway, she's out of the house now. I knew that I couldn't deal with her in the house for one more day, and with the upper hand that I got on her, it was like she didn't even have the mental energy to try and fight to stay in the house. She just started packing a bunch of her things, and then off she went. I'm incredibly glad that we're not under the same roof any longer. That, at the very least, is a major benefit for me. The next step is divorce. I know I might not come out on top with the way that the judicial system handles men and divorces, so I don't think I'm going to enjoy it that much. I've already had her served with divorce papers. Didn't bother doing it in an embarrassing fashion because, to be honest, I'm tired of this. I've gotten my get back and I just want to move on. I think I've earned it with the humiliation I put her through. Update 3. Finally, I'm finally back to the life of a single man. Never thought it'd be the kind of thing that I'd be happy about, but when the woman I was with cheated on me and fell asleep in our bed with her affair partner, I realized that I have zero interest in being married. Maybe at some point in the far, far future, I might give it a shot again, but it is definitely not anytime soon. I can't deal with the heartbreak again. The divorce was exactly as I expected it to go. I didn't come out on top. She got the house, which was an absolute joke. She had moved out already, yet the stupid judge decided she deserved it more than I did, while still getting alimony? Essentially, I got nothing but a bunch of money in my pocket, and it was pretty much all money that I had worked for in the first place. This is more reason why I have no intention to get married again. It's pointless. I moved out without any trouble whatsoever, and I got myself a nice but small apartment that was much closer to my workplace. I had nothing to do with her after that. I didn't reach out for any reason, even when I realized I forgot a few things at the old house. I just wanted to move on with my life. She's the one who ended up reaching out to me. Foolishly, I hadn't blocked her, and for some reason I answered her call. I thought I might have forgotten something which she wanted to return. She did that annoying thing where it started with small talk, even though it was clear that there was a reason why she called. I eventually told her to cut to the chase. I think this was about a month after the divorce was finalized. She told me that she misses me. My instant response was for her to go and meet her coworker's brother. He'd helped her get past that feeling. She said that it was me she missed, not anyone else. She said she felt so alone, and in the time she had spent by herself, she realized what a massive mistake she had made. I'd always been there to listen to her and cheer her up, and now she was depressed and alone, and she hated herself. It was harsh, even I know it was harsh, but I told her that she deserved to feel that way, and there was nothing I could do about it. If my love hadn't stopped her from going out to cheat on me, it wouldn't fix her depression. It was less powerful than I thought it was, and since she could so easily replace me then, she could find someone else to replace me in the aspects that she felt deficient in. She said that she was really sorry for everything, and I said nothing to that. She said she hopes that I give us another chance. The only response I gave to that was a laugh, because I'd rather die than give her another shot. If there's one thing she doesn't deserve, it's another chance. Once she left a gap in the call, as if she wanted me to say something, I just hung up. Every other time she's called, I haven't bothered to pick up the phone. All I'm saying is that sometimes, don't be the bigger person. If they cheat on you, you can cheat back. There are no rules once they cross that line. When she thought she was the victim, she was loud, righteous, and fearless. The second you showed receipts, Suddenly it was confusion, denial, silence, and then apologies. Amazing how accountability only shows up when the spotlight flips. And let's be honest, this isn't about cheating back. This is about showing her what it feels like to lose control of the narrative, to go from feeling untouchable to realizing she's just as human and fallible as anyone else. What would you have done? Let us know below. And thank you for joining us today on Our Space. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. See you soon!